Hello friends, this is Sam. Today we will see that what is use of transaction group and how to make use of process variables. So get set go. Now let me explain you the problem specification first. So we do have the bank database. In bank database we do have a bank table and there are three fields: account ID, customer name and balance, and it store balance of each and every customer. Now what we need to do, we want that there should be fund transfer from one account to another account. So fund transfer from Santosh to Nitin. Now whenever I say fund transfer, what does it mean? It is withdrawing 5,000 from Santosh's account and depositing 5,000 to Nitin's account. So that is called as fund transfer. So how we will do that? So firstly, what input our process will get? So I will develop the BW process like this. I'll take the timer activity and there will be first JDBC update activity which will be taking care of withdrawing the amount, and there will be another JDBC update activity which will be taking care of depositing the money. So this way I will develop this BW process. Now how I will give input to this particular process? So for that we will be declaring three process variables. So for this process I will define three process variables which can be shared in the whole process. So all the activities in the process can use those variables. So which are those three variables? First will be source account number. So source account will be the first, which is like number attribute. Then there will be destination account, so that will be Nitin's account. In source account I will be storing Santosh's account number, and in destination account I will be storing Nitin's account number and amount to be transferred. So there I will store 5,000, and then from that process variables JDBC update will withdraw the money, second JDBC update will deposit the money, and in this way this fund transfer will happen. Okay, so let us develop this particular process. So let me open the Business Studio first and let me create new BW application module. Let me call it as bank transfer 1. So let me give it bank transfer 2 because I might have this bank transfer already because I conduct the training and in that I develop this kind of samples. So let me just go to that. So it created BW application. So perfect. So your BW application module is created. Let us create, firstly we need to have the connection with the database. So let us go to the resources and let me add the JDBC connection. So that's fine. And let me make it as direct. That's fine. Let me select the Oracle driver properly. So Oracle driver is this one, and let me give the machine name. So my Oracle database is running on the local host, so let me give localhost. Then port number is standard port number for Oracle 1521, and instance name, in my case it is ORCL. So in your case it may be XC or some other instance name. So just give it properly. And the username, so in my case it is system, and my password. Let us test the connection. Okay, perfect. So you can see two problems on this problem tab, but these are not really, let's see what are these problems and all. We have not saved the project yet, so maybe these problems will be vanished when we save the project. So let me save the project, and it is saying process must be implemented because I have not created the process yet. So let me get into BW process. Let me have the timer activity first. So I'm going a little bit quickly here. So if you have any problem in getting these activities and dragging and dropping, then I suggest that you check out my other video, which is developing first project in Tibco BusinessWorks 6. That is available in this same channel. So let me take timer activity, that must be here. Then I will have JDBC update. So let me go to the JDBC palette and let me take JDBC update, one more, and one exit activity. So I'll have exit, and let me connect all of them together. That's fine. Then the connection need to be configured here in the JDBC update. So let me take the connection. So let me see the connection. Okay, let me take the connection. That's fine. Save, and here also I will have the connection. Okay, that's perfect. So I do have the connection configured in both the activities. Then let me open the properties of this statement, the update statement. Now here I will have the parameterized query. So I need to say withdraw the money. So it will be, now first thing I will declare that three process variables: source account, destination account, and amount. So let me go to the process first, process, and I'll go to property of process. So let me open the property. So you can just click on this white area of the process and you will get into the process. So process properties, and here I will include 1, 2, and 3. Let me make it as number, integer, and the name of the property is source account number, source account. That's fine. Then the another one, destination account, and it is integer. Let me search the integer properly. Here it is. And last one is amount to be transferred, amount, and let me make it as decimal number. So long string data format. As of now, no problem. So I can take it as long also. Let me take it integer. So assuming that my amount doesn't contain decimal points and all, that's fine. Then let me save it. And here I will have a parameterized query. So parameterized query will be update table name. So table name is bank, and set which value? I want to set the balance. So balance equal to balance minus, it is withdraw, question mark, where, let me find the field name, account ID, where account ID equal to question mark. So this is parameterized query, and I will have two parameters. So what is the amount which has to be deducted, and from where, from which account it has to be deducted. So I need to have two parameters added over here. These are parameters to the query. So first parameter is my amount to be transferred, and second parameter is the account ID. Okay, this is account ID. You can give any name as the parameter. The data type is integer. That's great. So integer, and I will have account ID also as integer. It's fine. Let me save this, and here whenever I will have input, so this value will be loaded with process properties. You can see that amount and account ID, it will come from process property. So which account ID to be debited? Source account ID to be debited. So I'll take that source account here. Then amount, so which amount? This amount I have to debit. So that's how it is. So that is first JDBC update, then the second JDBC update statement will be, it will be deposit. So update the table name, bank, set balance equal to balance minus question mark, where account ID equal to question mark. Is it minus really? I said it is deposit, so it will not be minus, it has to be plus. And again I'll add two parameters over here. That will be, first will be amount, second will be account. Okay, so it will be integer. Let me make it as integer. It's great. And one more. So this video is becoming little bit long, so it is not typical YouTube video, it is a practical video. So you have to, first round you have to listen thoroughly, and the second round just do the practical along with me. So just pause the video and do your practical on your studio, on your machine. So I highly recommend that. It is not typically a 10-minute or 5-minute video. It is a practical video which is rigorously maybe a longer duration. So just be with me for that. Okay, so integer, then let me just make it, so destination account will be deposited and amount which to be deposited will be here. So I assign process variables. So that is JDBC update 2. So this is withdraw and this is deposit. So let me give the name, maybe this is nothing but withdraw operation and this is nothing but deposit operation. So let me change their labels so that you will not get confused. Okay, so now let me execute this and let me see whether it's happening really or not. So let me give the values also. I have not given any value for process variable. So let me give the value for process variables. Oh, I think I put it in the process properties. That's fine. Either you can put it here or here. That's no worries at all. Okay, so let me give the process properties as source account. So account ID which has to be, let me do one thing, let me take it in process variable. As I said earlier, we will take it in process variable, source account, destination account. So let me delete it from here. You can take it as process property or process variable, doesn't matter for us, but maybe I will record another video to explain you what is the difference between process property and process variable. As of now, let me shift to process variable and let me add 3 variables. So one is source account and it is integer, destination account which is integer again, and the amount here in process variable you can see there is the float available for us, decimal available for us. That's great. Okay, let me give the values also. So source account, you can get the value here. So value is, right now source account is Santosh's account, so which is 2000. Then the destination account is Nitin, so 3000, and the amount to be transferred is nothing but 5000. Let me do the mapping correct because I have deleted process properties. So let me check out the mapping properly here, and here it is. Okay, so source account, let me take that source account here, finish, and amount here. That's great. So let me just remove this. Remove the mapping, and let me assign it whatever source account, destination account I added. So let me add it here. So source account has to be assigned here and the amount has to be here. Okay, let me save this. Let me see what is the error. Conversion from double to integer. Okay, my amount is taken as integer in the JDBC thing, and here it is nothing but integer to int. So I can use the function for that to do that conversion. Let me do one thing. Maybe let me modify the parameter values over here. Parameterize value. So let me make it as decimal. This amount, let me make it as float. Yep, float or double I can take, and here also I'll make it as float. Let me see. Okay, so input, and here it is, it got changed now. So it's saying double to float. So let me take it as double then. It's decimal and double, that is equivalent. So let me make it as double. And here also it will be double. Now I can see there is no error for this. Here it is integer to int. So let me take it one function, xsd integer, and that will convert it to int. So there is int also as a data type, integer also as a data type. So there is a difference. Okay, so now it's fine. Here also I'll have that xsd int. That's perfect. I save that. Now I save it. So excellent. So it's fine. Now let me see whether this works fine or not. So let me just start my process. So is there any error? Let's check that whether there is any error. Process property configuration. Okay, is not configured correctly. Value feed is empty. Let me see whether it is really getting used or not. Process property. So JDBC property I use here, and I use here JDBC property. Okay, let me do one thing here. So somehow this JDBC property 1 is created. So let me just delete that. Okay, let me save it, and let me on problem tab, nothing is there. So it's safe to debug now. Okay, debug. Okay, so let me tell you that even if we develop this process and it will work properly, but there is a serious problem with this process. Okay, so we will see that what is the serious problem with this process. Believe me, if you deliver this kind of process to any bank, that bank will shut down soon. Trust me, it will shut down soon. I'll tell you what is the serious problem in this. Let it be executed completely. And you can check it out that right now there is 50,000 is the balance in Santosh account and 14,000 is balance in Nitin account. So 5,000 will be transferred from Santosh to Nitin in this case. So let's wait. Okay, so it seems that it happens. And perfect. Let me check in the table. Cool. You can see that 5,000 rupees transferred from Santosh account to Nitin account. But this process is really wrongly implemented. It has a serious problem. Suppose there is something happen wrong whenever after withdraw is completed and before deposit is happening, if something goes wrong with the database. Okay, so what I'm saying, let me put a breakpoint now here. So suppose I put a breakpoint here, and suppose what I do, I just execute this process now. So I debug it, and it will be executed till breakpoint. So suppose there is some exception in your process. So suppose it will happen timer executed, withdraw executed, and it will happen till deposit. Okay, now deposit is yet to happen, and you can check that in your Oracle table amount is already withdrawn from Santosh, but it is yet to be deposited to Nitin. And suppose here there is some problem happen with the database. Let me actually simulate that problem. Suppose my database server goes down. Database server just crash for, let's say, 5 minutes only, and it will again come up. So whenever database server is gone down, that deposit is happening and there will be an exception in the process. Let us check that. So it's going down. So we are simulating the scenario that there is some problem with the Oracle database now. So it gone down, and suppose at that time again this particular process, it try to deposit, and there will be the exception. Okay, there will be the exception and it's stuck up. It's stuck up. So even if that Oracle server is up, nothing will happen, because once there is an exception, it will really stop and it will not start again. So suppose my Oracle service again started, but you can see that it's gone, and you have to stop the execution of this particular process. And what is the consequences of this? You had withdraw. Now let me connect this because my Oracle got stopped in between. Okay, so select star from bank. What is the consequences of this one? Amount is withdrawn from Santosh account, but it is not deposited to Nitin's account. So that's the big problem. So here actually what we want, what is the problem? Basically, whenever withdraw is completed, the operation is immediately committed in the database. That we don't want. What we want, these both should be part of same transaction, and if both are successful, then only it should be committed, otherwise not committed. So here what I want, basically I want they should be part of transaction. So here I will require the transaction. Let me go to general activities and get the transaction group now. Basic activities, and here I do have local transaction. So I just take that local transaction and I'll do that. These two activities will be part of that. So JDBC, this withdraw, you can see that. So just drag and drop inside this one. So you can see that I'm taking this deposit, and so my group is highlighted now. So I just leave it here. So that is part of the group now, and that is a transaction group. So what will happen? This will be changed now, and it will be coming to this. So it will be attached to this, and this will be attached to withdraw, and this one will change. Deposit will be attached to here. Let me just yeah, it's attached, and exit will be here, and okay, so I'll attach it here. That's cool. Okay, so that's a part of transaction now. Let's see what happens now. So what is the values here? 40,000 and 19,000. Let me execute this. It will again stop at the breakpoint. So withdraw happen, deposit not happen. So let me check my BusinessWorks job. Yes. So it is stopping at the deposit. So withdraw happen, and just one thing to note here, even if withdraw is already completed, you will see that the withdraw is already happened. So what does it mean? It should not happen actually. Ideally what we want, this withdraw should not happen. So maybe that activity, this withdraw activity is not part of the transaction basically. So it has to be part of this particular transaction. Let me check that whether it is really part of this transaction. Let me stop this and let me just try to move this properly. So let me move that withdraw activity inside the transaction group. Let me check it now. What I want is it has to postpone that commit till the group will be completed. So let's check now. Now it looks that my withdraw activity is inside. So you have to check that whether you just only dragged it and dropped it here, or it actually went inside the transaction group. So it has to be inside the transaction group. Remember that. So let us check once more time. Okay, so let's wait. Great. You can see that it's waiting at the deposit now. It's waiting at the deposit. Withdraw is already completed. Let me check whether withdraw is happened or not. Yes, withdraw is happened. That means some problem is there. Still that withdraw activity is not part of transaction. Let me stop it. Let me see what is the problem. So if I delete this, oh, so yes, both of the activities are getting deleted. That means they are part of transaction. What we are missing? So that's learning, guys. Now one thing we are missing is, let me tell you, so both of the activities are part of the transaction. Select this particular group and go to the property. Let me tell you what we are missing. Let us go to the property, and you can see that transaction, whatever you are having, you have that as a none. So we said that the transaction transport, the transaction type is none. We should make it JDBC because these activities are JDBC. So we should make the transaction transport at JDBC. Now it will be successfully executed. Let us check that. So right now, before the operation happens, it is 30,000. Let's see whenever withdraw is completed and deposit is not getting completed, what will happen? Okay, great. Excellent. You can see that we are here. Oh, I think we have removed the breakpoint this time. So let us see the successful case. Maybe successful case is 25,000. Okay, so it is 25,000 and it is 29,000. So how come 10,000 got added? So maybe one more, actually two jobs happen or what? Let's see how many jobs exactly happening. So withdraw and deposit. So deposit happen. Okay, let me stop that and let me execute it. Okay, let me put a breakpoint here. So I think I removed the breakpoint. Let me put it set before. Let me clear everything. Okay, and let me execute this. Right now the values are 25,000 and 29,000. Let's check what's happening here. Ideally it should withdraw only 5,000 and deposit only 5,000 to the destination account. So maybe multiple jobs executed in trial and error that happened. Let's see now. So you can see we are at deposit now. So withdraw happened and deposit is yet to happen. Let us check what are the values here. You can see that still withdraw is not happening because as we are using the transaction, withdraw is not done. Whenever this is also successful, at this particular point of time, withdraw will actually happen. Okay, so for example, if I put a breakpoint after this group, okay, I put a breakpoint after this activity, suppose, and I just resume that, you can see that. So I'm just deposit also happen. So once deposit happen, still it's not reflected in the table. You can see that still it's not reflected because the group is not yet closed. So let me put a breakpoint maybe here. Okay, let me put it before exit. That's okay. So before, so that is one and the same, right? Once the group is completed and it will go to the exit. Let's see that. Resume and it is coming to the exit. Your process is not completed yet, but the group is completed and you can see that both deposit and withdraw happen at the same time. Okay, so 5,000 withdrawn from Santosh and 5,000 deposited to Nitin. Both operations are happening. In case there is some problem in deposit, what will happen? Let me do one thing. Let me just remove the after breakpoint and let me just remove this also and let me stop it. And the another scenario is the scenario where let me check the values now. So 20,000, 34,000. Suppose withdraw happen and deposit has some problem. So there is a problem. The earlier database failure case which we observed. So let us simulate that case now. So let me execute this. So withdraw happened, deposit is yet to happen and server goes down. Okay, excellent. So withdraw happened, deposit is yet to happen. Naturally, it's not reflected in the database yet. It's 20,000 only. And there is a problem with the Oracle database. Oracle database goes down. And it is trying to do the deposit now. That means withdraw happen and it is trying to do the deposit and there is a problem with the database. So somehow depositors not happening. So it will roll back the withdraw also. So withdraw will also not happen. That's what is the beauty of transaction. Okay, so database server is down. And if we continue this, it try to do the deposit and there will be exception over here. There is the exception. You can see that there is the exception and we have to stop this process. And what happened? Neither withdraw nor deposit happened. So you just start it again. So let me start the Oracle service again. So your Oracle database got recovered. Okay, and let me connect to the Oracle server. Cool. I can see that nothing happened. So withdraw completed, deposit has error, so nothing happened. That is what the use of transaction. So friends, I hope you like that. In this video, what we have done really is, let me summarize that. It is little long video, I agree, but we understood how to deal with process variables. We understood what is the use of transaction, and if we use transaction, what benefit we get, where exactly we require the transaction group, and what property of transaction group we have to set. We should not forget that also we learn in this video. I hope you like this video. If you really like, then click on the like button and subscribe my channel. And if you want notification of future video, generally on every Saturday I upload new video to this channel, so just click on the bell icon. So thanks for watching videos. See you in the next video.